Hey, that was pretty nice. Nice of you to express your feelings towards me, and whatever you felt was necessary. It was kind of an honest video, I guess. Oh, so what else do you want to know? Please just let me know so that I may be able to explain it to you in nice words. Thank you. Okay. Have you ever watched two people quarrel or otherwise be stuck in a conflict with one another? If usually, if either of them acknowledged some things, it would end the fight. Many a times in our lives, all of us commit some blunders. It is an inherent part of life. We all have weaknesses and limitations. Everyone does something wrong. Yeah, Albert Einstein once said, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. So it's important to make mistakes, but the most important thing is to learn from it, to look back at the things which you did wrong, correct it, apologize for it, and move on. But what do we do actually? Whenever we make a mistake, the first thing which comes to our mind is, it's not my fault. What did I do wrong? Why should I be blamed for all the troubles? I didn't do anything wrong. Why does this happen? This happens because our mind creates a kind of self-defense mechanism which accuses others. Oh, this leads to a decreased ability to make good choices, as the information you're using is quite warped and changed. Some great personality said, I don't remember the name, but they said that the greatest of faults is to be conscious of none. These are some really true words. I don't know how they come up with things like that. I just don't know. So, what can we do? Put yourself in the shoes of others and see how that feels. If the person refuses to admit fault, how do you feel? Probably you will feel dismayed, disheartened, and you will not accept fault yourself. On the other hand, if the person accepts their carelessness or whatever was the reason of the fault, you will feel at ease. You will feel nice and humble towards them, and you will also be ready to accept your faults in the whenever you commit them in the future, or if you have committed them in the past, and somehow it just gets hewn back. The relationship gets hewn back, and as if you rectify your mistakes as soon as you make it, you can prevent it from launching into a huge problem. Okay, it can lead to a huge downfall in your life. So acknowledging the fault opens the window for the betterment, and we can take responsibility of our lives. Okay, now how to actually put this in practice? Okay, first of all, every time you make a mistake, remind yourself that it is in your interest that you accept the fault. Okay, we might think that admitting fault or admitting the mistake is a kind of thing of the weak people, but actually it's not. It takes a strong will and determination to accept that you have done something wrong, and when you admit the fault directly, it puts you in a stronger position with others. Everyone feels what you have done, and they are with you. Also, don't get loyally about your mistake, and try to avoid justifications as it can get you tangled in a web of lies. And you know stay on your topic when you are justifying. Do not just hammer the other person, but don't let the other person pound you after you have admitted it. Okay, so I would say that the common denominator is humility. It is the most confident people, to the point of narcissism, who have the most trouble admitting their shortcomings. In the end, I would like to accept any mistakes if made by me. I know I've made some mistakes, so I sincerely apologize for it, and I'm really sorry. Really.